Okay, the bell worked for April 2nd. Find the domain of the function defined by each quarter. Divined. It's not like that. Okay, so what are we concerned about when it comes to 1a? Well, we're concerned about something other than a positive or a 0 underneath that radical. So we would say 2x minus 1 has to be greater than or equal to 0, right? If it's less than 0, we have a problem. So we're going to say plus 1 on both sides. We'll say 2x is greater than or equal to 1, and we'll divide by 2, and we'll say x is greater than or equal to 1/2. If it goes below that, we have a problem. So we would say the domain for the first one would be, what should we say? We'll say bracket 1/2, comma, and then we'll say it can go as high as it wants. Oh, can't do that. Here we go. Okay, for B, we've got a couple things we need to worry about. The first one is that x minus 3 can't be, I'm going to let the other bleed over. I was going to say greater than or equal to 0, but it's got to be greater than 0, right? Because we're on the bottom of a fraction, so let me just go ahead and combine the ideas. Not negative and not 0 either. And so we'll say plus 3 on both sides, and we'll say x is greater than 3. But not equal to 3, because that would be bad. So we'll say the domain here is, so we're going to use a parentheses, 3, and go on up. Beautiful. Okay, so that's for B. And for C, okay, so I guess we could say both things. We could say x, we know that x has to be greater than 1, and x also has to be greater than -6. And the greater than 1's going to win because, we could say 0, but then we'd have a problem. Would we have a problem? Yeah, because we would have a negative. If we put in a 0, we'd have -1, and we'd say, and we'd have, well, let's see, we're not worried about the square root this time. So let me go back and rethink this. We're just going to say x is not equal to 1, and x is not equal to -6. Other than that, we're okay, because this time we're not dealing with the square root. So I had square root on the brain because of the first two. And, yeah. So there's only two places where we're concerned. So let's see, because no more square root. So the domain would be, I don't care about negative infinity, as long as I don't have to have -6 involved. And then I could say the union of that set. I could. I think somebody might have a little issue with that, but we'll do that, and then we'll say the union of 1 as we go on up to infinity. So basically we're just leaving out 1 and -6. And if you want to put commas instead of the union of sets, that's fine. So that's good. Down here on the simplification, let's see. We can't let this radical stay on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply by the conjugate. It's what we do. Same thing on the top, just because we did it on the bottom. So let's see, on the top we foil it, and we get 12, and we get -9 square root of 3, and we get -6, Who said 6? What am I doing here? Oh no. Go back. Negative 8 square root of 3. Is that right? Yep. And then positive 6 times the square root of 36. Okay, over 16. No middle term, right? Because it's the conjugate. And then negative 3 times 3 is, well, I'll just say 3. We know the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. Okay, so we will say 12. Put these guys together and we get negative 17 square root of 3. We know the square root of 36 is 6, so we're going to say plus, turns out to be 36 again, over 16 take away 27. So let's see, our final product here is going to be 48 minus 17 square root of 3 over, we got a negative, maybe we'll put the negative out in front, and we have 11 on the bottom. Okay. I don't think I can simplify that anymore.